A tip-up is a piece of ice fishing equipment that sits over an ice hole and suspends a bait under the ice. The spool sits in the water, and hanging below the spool is the main line, a barrel swivel, a leader of less visible line, a sinker, and usually a live minnow. Tip-ups are used mostly when targeting northern pike, walleyes, or largemouth bass, but they can be used to catch perch, catfish, burbot, brown trout, and many other things too. Today we're looking at how to set up one of these and some tips to make them faster and easier to use. To put line on a tip-up, get some 20-pound braided tip-up line and tie a simple knot to the spool and pull tight. 20-pound strength is usually more than I need, but you need a line that's thick enough to hold on to while you're pulling in a fish, and this line is also going to be rubbing on the bottom edge of the ice hole, so it has to be tough. Then you just wrap the line tightly around the spool until it's full. I consider it full when the line is just below the holes in the spool. If your tip-up has a handle on the spool, then use the handle to turn the spool and reel in line. At this point, you can cut the braided line and tie on a swivel that you'll tie a leader to, or you could tie a line-to-line knot like a double uni to connect your braided line directly to the leader. I like to use a leader of 10 to 30 pound monofilament or fluorocarbon line depending on what I'm fishing for. A number 8 treble hook works well on tip-ups for pike and walleye. If I plan to release the fish that I catch, I generally use a single hook or a circle hook in a size 2, 1, or 1/0 because it does less damage to the fish and makes it faster to unhook them and get them back in the water. It's very common to fish a tip-up within a few feet of the bottom. If you have a flasher or sonar system, you can put your transducer in the hole as you set up the tip-up, and you can watch exactly what depth your bait is at. This is a fast way to set your depth, especially when the bottom of the lake is soft. If you don't have a flasher or sonar, you can still figure out the water depth of your bait by attaching a clip-on weight to your hook and lowering it down until it hits the bottom. You'll know you're on bottom when the line goes slack and you don't feel the weight pulling down anymore. If you want to fish 2 feet off the bottom, then pull up 2 feet of line from this point and put some type of line marker on there. Most people attach a tiny bobber or a button to mark this spot. Then you know exactly how far off bottom your bait will be, and you can easily get back to the same depth every time you rebait this tip-up. Remember that the tip-up spool sits well below the surface, so you'll have to subtract a bit for that. Insulated tip-ups are a bit more expensive and more bulky, but they cover the hole and prevent the cold air and wind from freezing it up. You can also use a piece of foam or wood to insulate the hole around a standard tip-up. If you can just keep the wind out of the hole, it makes a big difference in keeping your hole open. The strike indicator has a tapered light bite setting and a straight heavy bite setting. Put the flag on the tapered side of the post to send the flag up when you get a light bite. If you're using large minnows or fishing for larger fish, then use the straight side to reduce false alarms of your flags. Bluetooth tip-up alarms allow you to concentrate more on jigging and also reduce the likelihood of a fish swallowing your bait before you even know you have a flag up. These attach directly to your flag shaft, and when the flag pops up, it activates a blinking LED and sends an alarm to your phone. A bell on your tip-up can also work really well if you're not too far away and it's not windy or noisy. In windy conditions, put the flag on the upwind side of the tip-up so the wind doesn't blow the flag off the post and give you a false alarm. When moving the tip-up to set the hook on a fish, you'll grab the line below the spool and lay the tip-up on the ice. Slowly pull on the line until you feel resistance, and then give the line a quick jerk to set the hook and hand line the fish back in. When you pack up your tip-ups, put the end of the flag into a hole on the spool to hold it down. I also wrap a piece of Velcro around the collapsed tip-up so it can't accidentally trip up and whack me in the face. Good luck tip-up fishing. We'll catch you next time.